do a video. I was asked this, and it was also, it's a request. You remember I said if you guys have anything that you want me to make a video of, we'd make it. This video is actually from, it's from My Blue Journey, and he says, hey Larry, can you do a video on safety for the drivers out there? Like, what happens if a driver gets very sick or encounters an emergency on the road or at a truck stop? What happens when a driver needs emergency medical attention out on the road? I always wondered about that. Thanks, Trucker Jukebox. Well, I'm going to answer that. There's not really a regulation with FMCSA really about just being sick, but there is a thing in the Green DOT book about being medicated out here. In other words, if you got to take medication in order to operate your truck. And I'm not talking aspirin, Tylenol, something that is, you know, just pretty safe to take. But if you have to go to the doctor and he gives you something that could cause you drowsiness, or something that would actually, like Tylenol 3 codeine, something that you was to take that would could cause you to be a danger out here to yourself or others, then that's where DOT actually gets involved.
Add in the crashes and fatalities that result from drivers impaired by drugs, and you understand the seriousness of the problem. You can also see why the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, the FMCSA, has placed so much emphasis on required alcohol and drug testing.
So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your truck is actually safely parked somewhere, like a truck stop, just where you can lock it up and you don't have to worry about it too much. But if you're sick and you can't go down the road, there's not a company out there that can make you go beyond your capabilities in order to deliver freight. Carrier must pay $20,000 to driver who refused to drive while sick. Now this is OSHA. In the victory against dispatchers everywhere who pushed their drivers, who pushed their drivers to use up every one of their available hours, regardless of the health of being tired. Levels that the Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, has ruled that a Washington state carrier must pay one of its drivers $20,000 after suspending him for refusing to drive while sick. The incident occurred when the driver, a 25-year veteran, told his company that he was too sick to drive. His company, Oak Harbor Freight Lines, retaliated by suspending him without pay. The driver then went to OSHA, who helped him file the lawsuit. This was not the first time OSHA has slapped Oak Harbor with a fine for violating the safety operation rules put in place by the Surface Transportation Safety Act. OSHA found that even it's in the company's attendance policy to encourage drivers to keep working despite being sick or tired. According to OSHA, they have told Oak Harbor to change their policies in the past, but the company has not complied. Forcing ill and tired drivers behind the wheel puts their lives and lives of others at risk, said an OSHA administrator. Oak Harbor continued refusal to revise its attendance policy, shows a reckless and callous indifference to employees' rights and public safety. In addition to paying the driver for his suspension time, the carrier was also instructed to remove any negative comments from the driver's personal file put there as a result of the refusal to drive, the suspension of the ensuing lawsuit. And what I'm showing you here is, you know, not only does truck drivers have the FMCSA to back you up, but even OSHA and your rights as a truck driver. You have OSHA that works with you as well on this. And according to the federal law, employees are prohibited from firing. According to the federal law, employers are prohibited from firing, demoting, or in any other way discriminating against an employee. Supposedly the law applies to truck driver companies as well. Truck drivers who refuse to violate hours of service or to operate a CMV, commercial motor vehicle, in a way that would violate a federal motor vehicle. Regulations are protected from any kind of retaliation by the trucking company under the STAA 49 USC section 31105. This law was passed January 3rd of 2012. A lot of drivers do. I mean, I do, a lot of drivers do. If you're sick, sometimes we do go down the road. But if you get so sick to the point where you cannot drive, you pull over, go to a truck stop, pull over, park, let your dispatcher know, I'm sick, I can't go on. You're no different than the truck. The truck breaks down, it's got to go to a mechanic. If you break down, you get sick, you have to go to a doctor. Even if you're out here on the road, it's no different than if you're at home. You can call in sick. You can. I'm sick, I got the flu, I can't even get up, I can't even do nothing, you know, I'm just sick. And if it's a good, respectable company, they're going to grant you that. Yeah, go to a truck stop. I mean, the load is important, but you're the most important person. You're the most important thing to the trucking industry. I mean, you're going to have 1 million trucks, but without a driver, them trucks, they don't go down the road. And if you're sick, go to a truck stop. If you're away from home, go to a truck stop somewhere. And go to a doctor. The reason why I was explaining the new rule, because I have drivers all the time asking me, but my company won't let me park my truck if I'm sick. They just want to push me. But you are protected by law, by FMCSA, and by OSHA, that you don't have to drive if you're sick, you know. Safety first. You know, you got 80,000 pounds and you're going down the road. But that's what you do. If you're sick, get your truck off the road, park it at a truck stop. 2, call dispatch. I'm sick, I can't go on. I need somebody either come and get my load, or we're going to have to reschedule because I have the flu and I can't move. 3, go to the doctor. Let the doctors know you're a truck driver. Let them know. That's where the medication comes in. They're going to prescribe you medication. You got to let your company know. A respectable company wants to know. Call your safety department. I just came from the hospital. This is Vicodin. They gave me Vicodin for a medication. Can't even have it in the truck. That will get you out of service real quick if they caught that medication in your truck. You can't even have it in your truck. There's certain medications that you can have. There's certain medications you can't have. Call your safety department. This is what they gave me. If you're medicated and you can't even drive that commercial vehicle, you can't even be in it. You may have to actually get a motel. You may be down for a week, but you'll have to get a motel, or have your company rescue your truck, and you may have to take a bus home. But some medications you can't even be in the truck if you take it. It's like alcohol. Not supposed to even be in a commercial vehicle if you have alcohol. But call your company. Let them know, I'm at the hospital. This is the medication that they're giving me. And they'll tell you what to do. They'll instruct you what to do next. So 911 is your best friend, your cell phone. If you're sick, you can't get up, you know, you're important. Your health is really important. It's more valuable. Yourself as a human being is more valuable than any freight that you can haul in that trailer. If a company is going to get mad, threaten to fire you because you can't go on because you're sick, then it's not a good company. Then probably it's time to find a new company. Because if you looked at their CSA score, they probably don't have a very good CSA score. I want to thank Blue Journey for the video, or for coming up with the idea for the video. Y'all stay safe, keep healthy, lots of vitamin C, and Trucker Jukebox will catch you on the road. Later.